Did the Carolina Panthers just get a big steal and a tiny man?
Coming back the other way, looking to pick up a block. Found an alley.
He's moving up. He's in my top 15.
Today, we're sifting through some depth charts to determine the effects of the NFL Draft. We're talking Shough, Emeka Egbuka, Tetairoa McMillan, and some other names that I maybe can't pronounce. We'll look at tape, metrics, college production, even contracts. Because when it comes to your fantasy teams, there will be winners and there will be losers. This is the NFC South. Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus. That's Kevin. Whether you're prepping for your fantasy football draft or literally just died after accidentally clicking on this video, we've got you covered. Join us as we sort for impact. Carolina Panthers. Golf clap for the Panthers for playing spoiler to the Cowboys in the first round. They also drafted a reason to release Jadeveon Clowney. Winners. Bryce Young. They just keep giving him weapons. Losers. Jalen Coker. He showed some pop last year. His path to playing time this year just got harder. In the first round, they took Tetairoa McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. He's big and he's not the fastest, which explains why you see him high-pointing the ball, making catches in traffic. He's got a huge catch radius. He shows good body control and the ability to drag his feet along the sideline. They say to watch his 2023 tape because he was never 100% healthy in 2024. His comp is Drake London. He's 6'4", 219 pounds. He runs a 4.58. In college, he had 3 years of good production with 213 receptions, 3,423 yards receiving, 26 total touchdowns. The depth chart is Xavier, Adam Thielen, Jalen Coker, David Moore, Jimmy Horn Jr., and Hunter Renfrow. Leggett is 24 years old. He was a first-round pick last year. He was one of my favorites, and I haven't seen anything to change my mind about him, not even drafting Tetairoa McMillan. Thielen is still producing at 34 years old. Last year, he came back from a serious injury. Now he's back for one more season. Coker is 23 years old. He was a UDFA from last year. It was a little surprising that he wasn't drafted late. He showed pretty well as a rookie, but he just got jumped on the depth chart, and now there's more competition for depth. Coker's only signed through this season. He's gonna have to prove himself all over again. Moore is 30 years old. He's on a one-year deal. Jimmy Horn Jr. is a 6th-round pick from this draft. I will get back to him in a bit. Renfrow is back in the league after taking a year off to deal with non-football health issues. He's 29 years old. McMillan was great in college, but is he the wide receiver one here? Better question, does it matter? Bryce Young turned it around the second half of last year. If he continues on that path this season, he's going to be some kind of Baker Mayfield type player, and he's going to feed a lot of receivers. McMillan will see plenty of targets to matter. In the 4th round, they took Trevor, Etienne, running back out of Georgia. He's not very shifty, more of a cut-and-go runner. A little slow off the edge, but if he gets a crease, he's gone. He shows good long speed. I didn't see a lot of receiving work. He's not very big, but he'll take on contact and does manage to fall forward. Etienne is 5'9", 198 pounds. He runs a 4.42 with a 66th percentile burst. He's got an RAS of 6.94. In college, he had 2,081 rushing yards, 62 receptions for 432 yards receiving. He had 24 total touchdowns. The depth chart is Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, Raheem Blackshear, and Jonathan Brooks. Hubbard is 25 years old. Last year, he broke out, leading the Panthers in rushing with over 1,100 yards, which earned him a brand new 4-year contract with an out after this season. Even with low dead cap money, I don't see them cutting this contract short. This is not a fluke. He has grown into an RB1 here, and he's a huge part of this offensive identity. He's also cheap. He won't even make north of $7 million until 2027. Dowdle is 27 years old. He's new to the team after leading the Cowboys in rushing last year with 1,000 yards. He's on a one-year deal. Blackshear is 26 years old. He's on a one-year deal. He's used mostly for their kick return duty. Brooks is 21 years old. He was a second-round draft pick last year. I'm sure he was the plan moving forward, but the future is very much in jeopardy. He tore his ACL late last year for the second time and has already been ruled out for this entire season. Some even question if his career might already be over. Etienne doesn't strike me as a lead back, and that's not the opportunity here anyway. He's not leaping two experienced 1,000-yard rushers in his rookie season. I can't even come up with a good reason to see him on the field. He doesn't profile as a great pass catcher or blocker, so I wouldn't even put him out there on third down. Now, Dowdle is likely one and done here in Carolina, and Jonathan Brooks could come back next season. Etienne strikes me as the kind of back that can flash here and there, but is ultimately doomed to a timeshare in his entire career. I'm not likely to have many shares of Trevor Etienne because his ADP is never depressed enough for me, and he'll only have a small piece of the pie. And I want more pie. And now I want pie. I wanted to do edge Nick Scourton and tight end Mitchell Evans as well, but I try not to do more than 3 players per team or these things just get too long, so I'll make this quick. A yes to Nick Scourton and a no to Mitchell Evans. In fantasy football, I'm sure they're very nice people. This is good pie. In the 6th round, they took Jimmy Horn Jr., wide receiver out of Colorado. Clearly, he's a little dude, which must be nice for Bryce Young. Low 5. He's a good route runner. He's twitchy. He turns crossing routes into big gains, shows good potential for kick returns. Joe Horn is not the father. Just saying, somebody might need to hear that. His comp is Travis Benjamin. Jimmy Horn Jr. is 5'8", 174 pounds. He runs a 4.46 with an 83rd percentile burst. He's got an RAS of 4.48. Ruh-roh, that sucks. Nobody will love you now. In college, between South Florida and Colorado, he had 162 receptions for 1,967 yards receiving, 12 total touchdowns. So let me answer the questions that I had while looking at Jimmy Horn Jr. Yes, he is good enough to make this team. Yes, he has a chance to pass Jalen Coker on the depth chart. I like them both. They have different strengths, and I think that Horn offers more in the underneath routes because of his burst. He can turn 5-yard passes into 10-yard gains and keep the chains moving. But I do recognize that he probably tops out here as a number 3 receiver. He probably needs a lot of volume to be a regular fantasy asset, and he is more likely to ascend next season after Adam Thielen is gone. In his rookie season, he might not be more than a kick returner. And finally, yes, I do believe that Jimmy Horn Jr. is worth investing in Dynasty. Even if you don't believe me, just know that he currently has a toilet ADP, and you could probably flip him for somebody else next year. Atlanta Falcons. Caw! The Falcons grabbed a pair of edges. I didn't even know edging was legal. Is that why the fans all have towels? Winners, wide receivers. There are still opportunities for Ray McLeod, Casey Washington, and this Kaderil hodgepodge of NPCs. Losers, Braylon Trice. He went from 3rd round pick to torn ACL to watch the Falcons draft 2 at his position in the 1st round, all in 1 year. In the 1st round, they took Jalen Walker, edge out of Georgia. He can play off ball and on the edge. He's a solid tackler. They call him a tweener or a hybrid. His tape was solid, but nothing really blew me away. He was the 3rd edge taken in this draft. His comp was Nolan Smith. Walker is 6'1", 243 pounds. I have no idea what his metrics are, but he was a 1st round pick, so somebody knows. In college, he had 3 years of production at Georgia with 89 combined tackles, 19 for a loss, 12 and a half sacks, 1 fumble forced. That's not overwhelming production. The depth chart is Jalen Walker. Our lads has him listed as a starter right now. Do you disagree? Arnold Ebiketie, he is 26 years old. He's on the final year of his current deal. He's been okay, but they wanted more at the position and they drafted like it. And Braylon Trice, he was a 3rd round pick last year. He tore his ACL and missed the entire season. Hopefully he can come back soon and get back into the rotation here. Jalen Walker is an obvious pick in IDP. Draft Sharks has him listed as the 4th defender off the board. Okay, but I wouldn't reach. If you need a starter, he's a good grab, but if you can afford it, I think there are guys that maybe won't be immediate full-time starters, but could pay off just as big or bigger than Walker down the line. And then the Falcons traded right back into the 1st round to get James Pearce Jr., edge out of Tennessee. He's explosive with an amazing 1st and 2nd step. He's got the size, speed, and power you want for the position. He has room to improve his strength and technique, which adds to his potential ceiling. He was 1st team All-SEC. He was the 5th edge drafted. His comp is Odafe Oweh. Pearce is 6'5", 245 pounds. He runs a 4.47 with a 43rd percentile burst. He's got an RAS of 9.40. In college, he had 3 years of production with 71 combined tackles, 30 for a loss, 55 pressures, 19 and a half sacks, 1 fumble forced, 1 interception. The depth chart on his side is him, Leonard Floyd, and D'Angelo Malone. Floyd is 32 years old. He's on a 1-year deal. D'Angelo Malone is 25 years old. He's on a final year of his deal. I like everything about James Pearce Jr. In fact, I think I like him better than Jalen Walker. And I think the Falcons were kicking themselves that they didn't pick him, and they had to trade back into the first to fix it. They believe in him that much, and I do too. I think he's gonna be a star in both fantasy and in real life. In the 3rd round, they took Xavier Watts, safety out of Notre Dame. He's a ball magnet, which sounds weird, an instinctive player with good vision, which helps make up for some unremarkable athleticism. He won the Nagurski Trophy in 2023. His comp was Malik Hooker. Watts is 6 foot, 204 pounds, good size for a safety. He runs a 4.64 with a 33rd percentile burst, which is dog shit. But as I've said before, doesn't much matter for his position or for fantasy. He's got an RAS of 5.79. His college stats are 188 combined tackles, 9 for a loss, 1.5 sacks, 2 fumbles forced, 13 interceptions, and you gotta like that. The depth chart is Xavier Watts. Look at that. That's a hell of a thing. Another rookie with a projected starting role. Jordan Fuller, 27 years old, he's on a 1-year deal. Kevin King, he's 30 years old, he's on a 1-year deal. If you're looking for a starting safety in IDP in this rookie draft, there aren't many to choose from. Xavier Watts is one of them. Not a ringing endorsement, it's just facts. For that reason, he's being drafted in deep leagues or is a priority waiver wire pickup. But if you miss out on him, don't worry, because I've got another guy coming up in a second. Nyland Saints. The Saints broke everyone's brains by drafting Tyler Shough, and it is pronounced Shough. You could have had cardboard signs reading the Tyler Shough, but no, it rhymes with luck and schmuck and cucksuck-hubba-bubba-chuck. Winners, Tyler Shough, handpicked by a new head coach with little to compete with. Losers, Kendre Miller. He shouldn't feel threatened by a 6th-round pick, but he should feel threatened by a 6th-round pick. In the 2nd round, they took Tyler Shough, quarterback out of Louisville. Shough shows plenty of arm strength. He can layer throws at all levels of the field. He can read defensive coverages. Todd McShay was all up in his crawl, calling him one of the best quarterbacks in this class. Yes, he can make some off-schedule or off-platform highlight reel throws, reminiscent of Patrick Mahomes. But he can also throw some pretty bad balls into coverage. He can make all the throws, including the shitty ones. Shough is 6'5", 219 pounds. He runs a 4.63. He's got an RAS of 9.70. He's big. He's strong. I want him to work on my farm. In college, he had 7 years of production between Oregon, Texas Tech, and Louisville. I've never heard the term journeyman applied to someone in college before. He threw for 7,820 passing yards, 56 total touchdowns, 23 interceptions, which really isn't that impressive, but he also had to deal with missing time, multiple injuries, 3 bone breaks that hampered him in college. The depth chart is Shough. It's Shough, everybody. Hey, it's Shough. Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener. Rattler is 24 years old. He was a 5th-round pick last year. I have never believed in him as a starter. Haener is 26 years old. He was drafted in the 4th round 2 years ago. I have never believed in him as a starter. He has 2 more years left on his contract. I'm not a fan of Tyler Shough's film. The problem for me is consistency, and I can't blame it on him being young or inexperienced. He'll turn 26 this season. He will be the starter here. He's the best quarterback on this roster, I do believe that. And they pumped enough draft capital into him that is the expectation. So if you need a starter in fantasy, go ahead, roster him, because often opportunity is king. But for me, I think he's more likely Daniel Jones than Justin Herbert, and I'd rather grab a quarterback in next year's draft. In the 3rd round, they took Jonas Sanker, safety out of Virginia. He's fast, tough, a physical player. He's got elite closing speed on rushers, coming at him like a missile. He's a great tackler. He plays well in coverage. Sanker is 6 foot 206. He runs a 4.48. He's got an RAS of 7.05. In college, he had 4 years of production with 273 combined tackles, 14 for a loss, 4 fumbles forced, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions. The depth chart is Tyrann Mathieu and JT Gray. Matthew is 33 years old. He's on a one-year deal. Gray is 29. He's a free agent after this season. All right, here's the deal. I like Sanker a lot, and I like his chances of being the in-house replacement for Matthew next year after he moves on, presumably. I also think it says a lot that the Saints took a safety at that point in the draft. Safety wasn't exactly a need for them, and Kellen Moore is an offensive-minded coach. He could have drafted a wide receiver like Ty Felton or Jameer DK or Jalen Lane, who I love. He could have taken Bashal Tutin to replace Alvin Kamara, who turns 30 in July. Sanker was actually drafted 3 picks before the Falcons took Xavier Watts. But since he's not projected to start this season, he's cheaper in rookie drafts. Currently, you can go get him off the waiver wire after your draft, which is what I am going to do. In the 6th round, they took Devin Neal, running back out of Kansas. He looks like a plotter to me. Not very elusive, he lacks top-end speed, but he chews up the yardage, and he does show good instincts. He pushes through first contact and fights for extra yardage. His comp is Kareem Hunt. Neal is 5'11", 213 pounds. He runs a 4.58 with an 83rd percentile burst. So he's got good size, not a ton of speed. He's got an RAS of 6.66. Oh, not today, Satan. His college stats are 4 years of production for 4,343 yards rushing, 77 receptions, 711 yards receiving, 53 total touchdowns. So tons of yardage, tons of points. Not a lot of production in the pass game. And why would you need it when he's averaging 5.7 yards per carry? The depth chart is Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, Jordan Mims, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Velus Jones Jr., and UDFA Marcus Yarns. Kamara will be 30 this season. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He was just shy of 1,000 yards last season, still averaging over 4 yards per carry. He missed 3 games with a groin injury. Miller is somehow still only 22 years old. He's on the 3rd year of his rookie deal. I'm really surprised at how his career has turned out so far. I thought he would have shown more by now. His spot on this depth chart is shaky. Devin Neal is a 6th-round draft pick with mediocre metrics buried on a depth chart. I didn't like his tape before the draft. Honestly, I didn't think much of him. But I rewatched his tape for this, and I've changed my mind. That Kareem Hunt comp really stuck with me. That's exactly who he is. He's never going to be the Lightning for this team, but he could be the Thunder. All he has to do is pass Kendre Miller, and he's probably got all year to do it. I'm not looking to draft Devin Neal, but I am going to be more aware of him as he falls to me in rookie drafts, because he does have an upside in Dynasty as a depth piece, and if the ADP is right, I'm willing to pay it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah, nice draft. Let's talk about what matters. They made 460-pound D-tackle Desmond Watson a UDFA, the heaviest NFL player of all time. Did they do this because of Tez Johnson in the hopes that he shares? Winners, Baker Mayfield. They are building around him and it's working. Are you watching this, Cleveland? Losers, Jalen McMillan. His path to the field got murkier and his role might be in flux. In the 1st round, they took Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver out of Ohio State. He's a fluid athlete with a good feel for manipulating coverage in space. He's got good hands, concentration, speed. He's quarterback friendly. His comp is Jackson Smith-Njigba, and that's exactly who I see. Egbuka is 6'1", 202 pounds. He runs a 4.50. He's got an RAS of 9.72. In college, he had 4 years of production with 205 receptions, 2,868 yards receiving. He had 2 1,000-yard seasons and 26 total touchdowns. The depth chart is full. Holy crap! Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, Trey Palmer, Sterling Shepard, Rakim Jarrett, Ryan Miller, Tez Johnson. Jesus! Evans is 31 years old. He's on the last year of his contract. Godwin is 29 years old. He just re-signed to a 3-year deal with an out after 2026. He's also coming back from a leg injury he suffered in Week 7. It's still up in the air if he'll be ready for Week 1. If he's not, it's McMillan time again. He was a 3rd-round pick last year. He took over for Godwin after the injury and showed pretty well. Palmer's 24 years old. He's a good player, but he just keeps getting shoved down this depth chart. He's got 2 years left on his contract. And I'll get to Tez Johnson in a bit. Egbuka to the Bucs was definitely a surprise, but just like Penix to the Falcons last year, the more I looked at this depth chart and the more I thought about it, I got it. They've got aging vets, injury concerns, depth concerns, If they want to keep this pass game humming, they were bound to find a wide receiver somewhere. Egbuka was just too good to pass up in the first round. Egbuka can help them win games now, and he's the answer for the future. It makes perfect sense. The other thing to consider here with Egbuka is his role. In college, he played the slot about 75% of the time. If he's the slot receiver here, he's the one I want in this offense after Mike Evans. Chris Godwin had a resurgence last year because he saw more time in the slot. So I'm high on Emeka Egbuka, and I'm fading Chris Godwin and Jalen McMillan in fantasy. In the 4th round, they took David Walker, edge out of Central Arkansas. He shows power and speed, ability to get to the quarterback. He's got some good tape, but I question the competition. It seemed more like watching a big fish in a small pond. Walker is 6'1", 263 pounds, so he's a little undersized for the position. He runs a 4.69 with a 63rd percentile burst. He's got an RAS of 8.63. In college, he had 4 years of production between Southern Arkansas and Central Arkansas. I couldn't find his college stats through my usual trusted sources, so here's his Wikipedia page. The internet said he had 45 tackles and 10.5 sacks last year, and the internet wouldn't lie. Why would it lie? The depth chart is Hassan Reddick, Anthony Nelson, and he'd be playing opposite Yaya Diaby and Chris Broswell. Reddick is 30 years old, he's on a 1-year deal. Nelson is 28 years old, he's on a 2-year deal. You're not investing in David Walker and IDP. There is a path to playing time here next season with aging vets on short-term contracts, but there's also the likelihood that they just bring somebody else in through free agency or through the draft next season. If things change by next offseason, I'm sure you can find Walker on the waiver wire. In the 7th round, they took Tez Johnson, wide receiver out of Oregon. He's a high-volume slot receiver, good hands, works through coverage, he just gets open. He was projected to go in the 5th round, the Bucs got him in the 7th. His comp was Tutu Atwell. Johnson is 5'10", 154 pounds. I think the weight was the issue for a lot of teams. He runs a 4.51, maybe that too, with an 83rd percentile burst. Not the best long speed for a guy with slightly more than bone weight, but that burst is what lets him separate. He plays faster than that 40. He's got an RAS of 7.30. In college, he had 5 years of production between Troy and Oregon. 310 receptions, 3,889 yards receiving, 29 total touchdowns. This is a crowded wide receiver room now. I don't think they were even looking to draft another one, especially another slot receiver. But Tez has outstanding college production. A 7th round dart throw is nothing to them. The draft capital and the opportunity here are what lessen some of his positives. I think the best case for Tez to sneak onto this roster is maybe the last receiver spot if he can return kicks. But he's going undrafted in most rookie drafts, and that sounds right to me. If you enjoyed this video, please check out the other divisions as well. Thank you for watching Shut Up Football. Please leave your comments below. Say hi to your mom for me, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace!
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
Still have pie in my mouth.